Yeah, good evening, Council and
Jay
Mayor.
Pengilly, it looks like.
As you'll recall, Heart of the Arts took over the operations and maintenance of the 1912 Center back in May of 2007. We regularly meet with Heart of the Arts officials on all the issues that come up over there, and Heart of the Arts reports to you guys quarterly and then also annually. Tonight's their annual report, and I'm here to introduce again Jenny Kostroff. She's their executive director, and for your entertainment, here's Jenny.
It doesn't make this easy on me. Yes, I'm Jenny Kostroff, and I don't know. Jeff just gave his address, so I'm thinking I'm supposed to do the same thing, but I'm 416 North Lincoln Street.
Thank you.
And it's a great pleasure to run the 1912 Center for the community, and this sort of is a summary of all of the fun things. So Jay's handing out later in my report, we have an article in this Uniquely Palouse, and I've flagged it for you with a tab, and then Jay also has a special treat for everybody. We had postcards commissioned of the west end of the facility that reflect where it's at right now today, which is important because if you look closely at the postcard when you get it, and these are numbered postcards. It's a silk-screened postcard by Kristen Carlson Becker. She's done a couple of city buildings as postcards too. And this, if you look closely, it's missing the balustrade at the top of the West End entrance, and I will be talking about that in my report. So this freezes in time what the West End looks like right now. So this is the artist's perspective, but as you will note, it's going to change in look. But Heart of the Arts, the company.
Jenny, I was just going to interject for the members of the public out there. This publication, Uniquely Palouse, that you're talking about, is available free to the public, and we have some here in City Hall.
Yep, it's the fall 2012 issue, and there's an article about the running of and operating of the 1912 Center for the community. So it talks about our centennial and has, I guess, antics and stories about me too. The which is always hilarious. Anyhow, so enjoy. I give to you a present. And now, so Heart of the Arts that runs the 1912 Center, our mission is to enrich lives and create community by operating and restoring the 1912 Center. So we are very honored that the city of Moscow selected us and also renewed our agreement for the renewal term. Our board of directors for 2012, Jay Pengilly is our president, and he was up here handing out all of our handouts to you. And Mary Dupree is our vice president, and Judy Brown's our treasurer. And currently, the secretarial duties are bouncing between all of the directors listed in the right-hand column: Miranda Anderson, Cindy Barnhart from Festival Dance, Jody Burke, Kelly Moore, Linda Paul, Lawrence Rose, Laureen Sorensen, and it says Friendly Neighbors Representative. We, a couple of years back, determined that it was really important to have a representative of the Friendly Neighbors Senior Program on the board with Heart of the Arts. So they serve a one-year term at a time, and currently we're in between. Lynn Lindsay served while he was president of Friendly Neighbors, and now we're going to have Bill Terrio joining us. He's the new president of Friendly Neighbors as of 2013. So that's our board at present, and I think next month we'll be inviting a few new board members to join us. Accomplishments. I'm going to go through these fast because I go through them every time in case somebody's brand new to learning about Heart of the Arts' involvement with the 1912 Center. So in 2008, we got the West Wing completed. It was a $315,000 project. That was a combined fund source with the city's projects, and we added the Fisk Community Room and the Arts Workshop for the public on the west end of the facility. In 2009 and 2010, I like pictures. They show the before ugly boards, after pretty windows, very nice, tuck pointing, very good. keeping us all nice and weather tight. So that's the shell restoration. We completed that in the end of 2010. It added 52 new windows to the facility and a total of $287,000 to the value of the facility. Then in 2011, we began the parking lot project, breaking it into 2 phases. The first phase was to deal with the retaining wall around the parking lot on 2nd Street and Van Buren. And it was Heart of the Arts put $16,000 into the phase 1. The rest was paid with the Idaho Department of Commerce Community Block Grant and the City of Moscow in our partnership. And Elisa Stone has been fantastic to work with, and I commend you on that hire. Woo! KACI out of Pullman was the contractor for that project. And then in 2011, we ended the year replacing the hood chemical system, so it's not a powder drop, but now a liquid chemical system, bringing it up to code for the kitchen. And getting brand new double stack convection ovens that are loved by our community. Sisters Cookies bakes their cookies for commercial purposes. If you buy a cookie at One World, you'll know it was baked in that fine oven right there in the 1912 Center. And also a 6-burner gas stove with full gas cutoff, so that we now have the ability to shut the hood fan off when the gas is completely shut off, which is amazing, because we used to have to leave the hood running 24 hours a day to deal with the gas that was venting from that old broken stove. We also added 4 ceiling fans to the great room to help move the heat around in that space, as well as the cooling. 2012, Quality Contractors out of Deary completed phase 2 construction on the parking lot. That's added the stairs that you see in that pretty picture that bring you down from the 1912 Center to Adams Street, and also 15 new parking spaces to the facility's lot, and a patio, bike parking, and a smooth sidewalk entry into the west end of the center. More pictures, because I like pictures. They show pictures. They're worth 1,000 of my words. 1,000. So the parking lot has been very well received. In fact, it still confuses people that we have parking on the west end of the facility when they come to the Fisk room and they troop through the whole building and realize there's a parking lot on the other side. They're like, "Where's that?" Just drive around, people. Check it out. So this also, in this phase, we fixed up the east entrance. We'd had a lot of trouble. As you can see, there's a truck parked. That was a standard to have a car blocking the main entranceway. So if you were bringing things into the facility, or if you were traveling with a walker or a wheelchair, it made it very difficult to get into the center. And we had changed that piece of asphalt and parking into a sidewalk entranceway with a bike parking there. We also redid the sidewalk so that it's all smooth instead of being bumpy and pocked. So it's a very nice experience for people to come to the center now, and it's very clear where that entrance is.
Looks like you've stimulated a question.
Yes, you have a question, Tom?
Well, I had a comment.
Yes.
I should have perhaps told you about this before, or I should have told you about this before the bike racks were installed. But,
Probably.
what I notice about these bike racks, and I noticed when I tried to park my bike there a few months ago, but because these are parallel to that
Yes.
curb right there, they're
Yes.
only usable on one side.
Correct. This
And
all
so
came about
if these
because
were- if these- sorry.
I can tell you
Okay,
how that
go
came
ahead.
about. There were going to be 4 bike parking spaces there, and when they put them pointing out into the sidewalk, if your back bike tire blocked the very sidewalk we were trying to keep clear. So as it turned out, we took away 2 of the proposed 4 bike parking racks there and lined those up. So we are only expecting 2 bikes to be parked on those at any time, but they are being enjoyed by people, and that's better than what we did have. And we do have more bike parking at the back of the facility on that east end, which people do partake in. But it's nice to have spots that are closer to the entranceway. And
Yeah, and I thought about that issue with the back tire here.
Right.
But because of all of this extra space,
That's a loading
my s-
area.
right? But it seems like there would be plenty of room for movement. So if if at some point in the future you wanted to add bike parking, you could
We
turn
probably
those 90 degrees. And
We probably
it
would be
work.
more likely to do something where we would pave a corner or cut that curb and put bike parking into the flower bed a little bit, but we were keeping our costs. We had this ability to cut the curb that you see up above and make it a smooth passageway there on the corner, and then unfortunately the bike parking was not well thought out and designed, so I stopped them from installing them where the bike wheels would be blocking the very sidewalk I wanted to keep clear. So, yes,
I
but-
think I could park my bike between the curb and that rack and fit
well, you
two-
might have a
two
very
on a
skinny
unit.
bike,
Right.
very svelte bike.
right.
The total phase cost for this project was $207,000, and I even got into the little number, $693. This was a fairly even split between the city of Moscow, using up the Idaho Department of Commerce Community Block Grant. I see how I got rid of the alphabet soup there, Sue. Heart of the Arts Incorporated was the other partner in that one, and we worked all together, and it was a very successful project. In the summer, in July, instead of refinishing the wood floor, we took on the challenge of redoing the flooring in the kitchen. A much-needed improvement. This ceramic tile with epoxy grout will have, they tell me it's a 50-year lifespan. That's pretty exciting. So I'm looking forward to those next 50 years. But it's much better than the linoleum that was there and getting gouged. And this has been very well received by everyone that's using the kitchen, and it's far superior for cleanup. And it doesn't need to be sealed all the time. Other things that we accomplished in 2012, we planted 5 trees in the back tree lawn along 2nd Street with the Allstate 2012 Week of Service Challenge Grant that we applied for and were rewarded. Moscow Central Lions Club was integral in planting those trees. Very strong, burly men and women of the club put them in. It was very exciting. And we got rewarded with ice cream, so that was good. And we were awarded an Orchid Award in July from the, help me here.
Latah County Historical Society.
Wow, that's long. No, I don't think it's not county, is it? It's the city. It's the city's.
Historic Preservation
The
Commission.
Preservation Commission, thank you, is the one who awarded us that, and we were very grateful to be acknowledged for the work that we're doing to restore the center. And we were featured in the Uniquely Palouse article that you saw. We do continue to rent spaces in the facility, which is a lion's share of the time that I spend in the office. The Great Room in Plaza, the kitchen with or without the Great Room, the Fisk Community Room, and the Arts Workshop in Friendship Hall. This is a photo of the Patchen people of Pullman having their class in the Arts Workshop on color. They had a really good time, as you can tell. Programming, Heart of the Arts also puts on programs in the for the community to come to the building and experience the 1912 Center, and those were the Art Walk. We did a second showing of Portraits of Community. This was another series of portraits of people in our community. We offered the 9th season of our Summer Plaza concerts, an arts and culture showcase in August, and we're offering 6 winter markets. The next one is this Saturday from 10 to 2 at the 1912 Center. You can go shopping. So be sure to come check it out. There will be Valentine options and lunch by Perry's Garden, and Sisters Cookies is selling dessert. And the last one of the season is March 2nd. And that's our 9th season of winter markets as well, which is really cool. And we have this new cool metal sign in front of the building that's not lit up or interactive in any way, shape, or form, except that those little letters blow around in the wind. That's pretty exciting. But that is
Dynamic.
it's not. It's got lowbrow dynamics going on there. In fact, it's flush to the road, so you have to look at it sideways. It's more for the walkers. It's for the walkers. But we also had a whole bunch of centennial events this past year because the building turned 100 years old, and you can't let that go by unnoticed. So July 29th, we kicked off with historic classroom tours and a parking lot ribbon cutting at the Ice Cream Social with the Latah County Historical Society. We had an original composition of Dan Buckfitch's 1912 that was played at the Plaza Concert event on August 27th. September 7th, we opened the Back to School art opening, which featured images and class paraphernalia from years gone by when the building was in use as a school. And then Nels Reese did a wonderful lecture on the center's history and specifically the architecture of the building. And then in November, we hosted our all-ages prom. And then just this past Friday, we opened the Centerpieces art show, which is up through mid-April, and you can enjoy that. Kristen Carlson Becker's postcard is one of the images in our Centerpieces show, and I have featured myself, my mother, and my children in our prom photo, so you could see how awesome we looked at prom. The all-ages prom featured music from 1910 to the present day. And needless to say, some of the kids were holding out for Gangnam Style, so it was pretty hilarious because they were also really tired. But if you want to see cute, Sue Ann Ramella's daughter dancing on the prom dance floor with her parents was adorable. And that's Sue Ann Ramella of NPR fame in our town. But her kid is cute. But my mom made our corsages, so I thought that was really cool. And we also have a picture from the Glee Club in 1927, one of the photos that was up in our historic...
Where are Tim and Wayne in that picture?
1927. Wayne, what do you know?
Second from the left.
Second from the right. Because Glee Club was really popular when you were in school, right, Wayne?
Right
Actually, in 1927.
I was going to ask where you were in the 1916 football.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
were.
We dedicated the plaza to Linda Paul, and it is now named the Linda Blackwelder Paul Plaza on August 27th at the Plaza Concert, and her son Zach was there to provide some words on her behalf. She's been such a champion of the facility over the years. And right now, that portrait of Linda Paul, done by Laurel McDonald, is hanging in our Centerpieces show in honor of her work with the building. So if you'd like to see it in person, it's up on the walls with a really ugly Afghan behind it. So it's really, it's really fun. You'll understand if you come see the art show. So that's a teaser right there. You want to see it. In 2013, our projects, which is what Walter wanted to know what we're going to get up to this year, and these are our plans. We were awarded an Idaho Heritage Trust grant of a $4,500 cash match to allow the repair of our balustrades. Now, this is specifically over the West End entrance that is missing its top balustrade right now, and all the pieces are being sort of archived and cataloged there, but they need to be repaired. It's a terracotta piece that we have to find the casts for the original or reproduce casts for those pieces and get them produced, the ones that are broken or missing. So with this grant in place, we'll be able to complete that work on the West End entrance. And then our goal is to complete the lighting on the West End parking lot, which is in progress right now, and deal with the landscaping and 1912 Center sign. A real, true 1912 Center, you know where you are sign will be put on the southwest corner of the property. And then there are some roof repairs that will need to be done in 2013, and then we'd like to, by the end of the year, have the cash in hand to go out to bid to do the repairs to this lovely, ugly side of the building. It needs its boards removed, windows replaced, tuck pointing repairs, sealant, you name it. I'd like to get it done. I'd like to at least be in construction by the end of 2013, which means we have some fundraising to do.
Jenny, remind us how much those windows cost for anybody who might be out there and interested.
Well, the truth is they're more expensive than what we will charge to sponsor a window, but a window can be sponsored for $1,912, and that number is on purpose. They're actually over $2,000 a piece now. Some of the wider ones, and they're all custom made for the sizes of the windows. They don't make them like that anymore, so we get them all custom put together. And so those, we would love to adopt them on an end. On that east end, there are 22 windows to be replaced.
Right, and that $1,912 is divisible by however many members are in your club,
Yeah.
your fraternity, sorority.
I need you on
family.
my fundraising team. Let's go.
All right, there you go. Just a word.
Yeah, and to become a member of our Cornerstone Club, which is our fundraising annual approach to folks, it's just $19.12. And I don't mess around. For $19.12, you are making a difference. 100 people coming in at $19.12 buys us one of those windows. So consider that. If you haven't given to the 1912 Center, I will start anybody on that donor program. No problem. $19.12. I'm like NPR. I can totally do this kind of pledge drive.
There's more.
So, I'm Jenny Kostroff. If you have any questions, that's me in the picture. I'm doing my Charlie's Angel pose.
Thank you, Jenny. Looks like Tom has a question for you.
Twice in this last month, I've read or heard the 1912 Center referred to as the 1912 building.
Well,
I'm
you get
trying
on
to
that.
do my part in helping people
educating
people about the name of the building.
It's the 1912 Center, and why? You can actually type in 1912 building into Google, and we still come up. So it's, I don't know if is it beating a dead horse or something? It's like, there are those who always refer to it as the 1912 building, and I always say 1912 Center, yes, and how can I help you? So I move it along pretty quickly, but it is our website address, 1912 Center. It is the sign that will be on the corner, 1912 Center. And slowly, people who are new to this space are changing that name. Those that used to call it 1912 Building are kind of stuck. Some people still call it Moscow High School, so we work on it,
Whitworth
Tom.
Building.
Just you
Junior
pat.
high, wasn't
Junior high. Whitworth, yeah, there we go. Whitworth Building.
Where did
That'll throw 'em off.
Where did that name come from? Whitworth Building. That's what Tim and I, when we were first exposed to it, it was the Whitworth Building.
Whitworth actually was a previous facility in town, and when they tore it down, it bounced over to the high school so that it wouldn't be called the high school. Because when it was a junior high and elementary school, they wanted to have another way to reference it.
That's what they referenced it as Whitworth Building.
That's why it became the Whitworth Building. It was a secondary usage of that name, though, which is kind of interesting. So.
Thanks.
Anything else I
Questions or
can
comments
answer?
for Jenny?
I hang out at the building a whole heck of a lot, so if you're looking for me, come on by. Saturday I'll be there at the Winter Market.
I measure the passage of the year by your frequency of visit to City Council, and I can't believe how fast this
It's
year has
another
gone.
year. We are now at year 6.
Continuously growing older.
That I can't
Really?
Fast. It's getting faster.
This is the clue.
Now, this is what I
getting
told
faster
Janet
and
Fisk,
faster.
who passed away this fall. And
Bless
Janet
Janet.
Fisk, when she was going to sponsor the Fisk Room, she said, "Can you give me a renovation?" And I said, "No, unfortunately, I'm not capable of that, but I can invest your money well into this facility so that it carries on for a long time. So do you need a Lamar put onto the facility somehow? Because that I can do. I
have
can help you with
upstairs.
that.
Outdoor signs in Moscow.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much.
All the billboards in town.
Great. So how about a formal acceptance of this report? Anybody?
So move.
There we go. All those in favor say aye.
Hey.
Jenny, with our thanks.
Thank
Nicely
you.
done, as always. Keep up the good work.